How's it going, Bo? It's been a while.
I know, man. I know. We've been busy. I assume you're only doing the same. I love the shirt you're wearing there, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, we've been busy.
Sure.
We're trying to keep up. Trying to keep up with everything.
So, kind of like our story, you've got a huge background in flipping, but you've recently, and you can let us know how recently, ventured into the short-term rental game, and then actually arbitrage as at least one of the methods of growing that. So, how did that story start for you?
Yeah, so we were flipping houses. We've been about 5 years in, and we're just running the grind. I mean, flipping anything and everything we could as fast as we could. And, you're always up against that cash flow crunch and trying to get that puzzle figured out. And so we kind of had this light bulb moment of there's another way. And we've been seeing a lot of other people doing Airbnb. Let's look into this. And it was my wife who really dug in and found this method we'd never even heard of, but basically renting out a rental. And so there's some guy off somewhere doing it, and he put together this little course, and I think it was like $500 or something she paid to do it. And it just like completely opened our eyes to some possibilities that we didn't know it really existed. Basically, working with an existing landlord and working the agreement to rent their rental as an Airbnb. And we furnished one. The first phone call she made, the guy said, "Sure, let's do it. I used to have an Airbnb. It's a lot of work, but if you guys will do it, let's just give it a go." And we furnished that thing up, and it's been our consistently booked Airbnb. We have 7 going now, and we're about to have 2 more by the end of the week is the goal. And
all right,
we're hopefully going to keep growing that. But it's been an amazing process learning. It can be a headache at times, but it is really fun to watch this thing grow and to see that passive income coming in.
Nice. Okay, so that first one, it sounds like you just kind of hit the first ball and got a double or triple there. So, yeah, you call this landlord up. He's like, "Yeah, why not?" You get going on it. What were some of the learning little bumps in the road that you had from that point to first couple guests?
Yeah, I think number one, having a timeline. If you don't put a timeline down, that can drag on. And so, you want it to be just right. You want your pictures to sell the place. The space has to look great against the competition, because with Airbnb or short-term rental, you've got the consistent thing is the photographs. That's what people are looking. So they're looking to see what your space looks like and the amenities you offer. So getting that set up really well and having great photographs was the first key, but also saying by this date, we're going to be up and running. And so we really pushed. We had to say no to some other things to get that done, but we pushed really hard. And then once we got there, it was just a lot of communication with that owner and explaining the process to him. We're not going to bother you with some little detail repairs or things that happen. And then we agreed to that cap with him. So anything under $200, we're going to take care of. We're not even going to tell you. We're just going to fix it, because that's what we want to make sure we handle. Anything bigger than that, we're going to make you aware, and then we can come to an agreement on what we need to do to fix it. So we had a guest within the first month who left a boiling pot on the stove, and it melted the control panel on the oven stove. And it was like a $500 fix. We felt horrible that happened. And so we said, "Look, we're just going to take care of this. We just want you to know." And he said, "That's amazing. Thank you. I appreciate it." We called him back month 2 and said, "The dryer is not drying and the guests are having a hard time drying their clothes. Can you take a look?" And he said, "Yeah, I'll take a look. If it's the dryer vent that needs to be cleaned out, I'll get up on the roof and take care of that. If not, I'll just buy you a new dryer." Come to find out, the dryer was bad, and he bought a new dryer. It was there the next day. So we have a great relationship with him, because he knows we're going to take much better care of that property than a tenant who's there for a year and he never gets to get inside and see it. But also we sold him on the fact that we're keeping this thing clean, and we've kept our word on that. And every time he shows up to look at things or fix something or discuss something, He's extremely happy, and that's really the best way to keep these things going if you're going to try the arbitrage model.
Yeah, and one of the best things, and I think it's probably a bad PR with local communities on not liking Airbnbs, is like when you compare long-term rental versus short-term rental, like the long-term rental, it's set it and forget it for the most part. Like once it's leased, hey, I don't want to really know much about it. Like don't ever call me until it's time for renewal or I got to release it again. With short-term rental, it needs to look at 10 out of 10 every single week. Otherwise, you just don't get the bookings.
Right.
So it is kept in better shape, which is always appealing to a landlord, right? Have other relationships with because you're doing arbitrage, which for those or do you want to describe what arbitrage means?
Yeah, it's just subleasing your lease, and so we sign an annual lease with the landlord, and then in writing we state that we will be using this property as short-term rental property. We'll pay the utilities, we'll pay the rent each month, and then everything we make over that we keep, and that's agreed up front. And then we make an agreement on minor repairs, and then anything over that cap we discuss with him, and as a landlord they'll come out and fix. So the air conditioner stops working. It'd be the same as if you had a long-term tenant. You're going to get out and you're going to fix the air conditioning. If you've got a slab leak, you're obviously going to take care of that as the owner. Those kinds of things.
Yeah. Okay. And then, of course, arbitrage, you're doing this at scale because now it doesn't have to be property. You don't have to have the money to buy the properties. You just need to be able to execute the lease and be able to operate as a short-term rental operator. That's it. How have other conversations gone with, have you had, so that was easy and we got like 2 minutes left, but have you had some other ones where they needed a little bit more coaching before you were able to get them on board with this type of model? It was new to them.
Yes, we have one. It's about 25, 30 minutes from where we're located here in the Oklahoma City area. And it was a family who got transferred with his work. They had their house on the market and they had posted it on Facebook as for sale and actually for rent. And we reached out to them and explained it to them. And the wife shot us down immediately. No, that's not what we're looking for. We're not really interested in that. Thanks. But then the husband called us back 2 days later and said, hold on a second, I need to know more about this. And we explained to him what was going on. And it felt, to his words, where it feels like a property manager for a rental, and you're going to take care of it while we're gone, and we'll just see how this goes for a year. And we were like, essentially, we're guaranteeing you that we're going to pay the rent, we're going to keep it clean, we're going to take good care of it, and we're going to try to make money on it. I mean, that's what the bottom line is. We want to make money. And so he said, okay, let me go back and talk to my wife. I think we can make this work. And so they talked about it for about a week, and then they came back and said, let's try this. Let's do this. And so they went with it, and we've had it for a year now, and it's been going really, really well.
I'm sure that was actually very comforting once you got going in this whole eviction moratorium, like little season we had to go through, knowing that, right. Hey, like I'm thinking from their perspective, we got these great partners, the rent's coming in, I don't have to worry anything. I'd imagine for quite a majority of them, they were like, man, I'm glad we did that.
Yeah, they were super happy with us. And in fact, at one of the other properties that we have, they contacted us and said, hey, we've got a duplex coming in like a month. It's going to be finished. Would you want to rent these as well? And so now they're contacting us for future properties, which, man, I don't have to hunt down where the location is. I don't have to another owner. I don't have to worry about the quality of what they do because I've already seen what they do at the other property. So it's a win-win all around. They get somebody locked in. We've got another place. It's a duplex. It's near a major hospital here, so the location couldn't be any better. It's starting to. We're seeing the momentum grow, and we're getting this thing figured out.
Love it.